today's session is on the telecom sites, right? And in which we conclude all the civil work portion, tower and the shelter. Okay. Actually, telecom sites are divided into the two portions. One is the passive part and other is the active part. Okay. Anyone else who can explain what is the active part and the passive part? Any idea?
The passive part is basically deals with the static part, you can say, like outer infrastructure of the tower or shelters.
Okay.
Active parts are which is being introduced in the communication process, which is taking signals.
Right. In the active part, where the signals process, like BTS, antennas, these all are the active parts, which is directly related to the communication signal. And in the passive part, the part which supports to the active part are called the passive parts, like the shelters, towers, generators, SMPS, battery banks. These are all are the passive parts, because these portions not generate the power signal, but only supports to the our radiation of the signals, right? In this side, there are two type of sites. One is the RTT site and the other is the greenfield or GBT sites, ground based towers. Okay. Basically, these telecom sites are divided into the two portions. One is rooftop tower and other is the ground based tower, right? Before constructing any site, firstly we go for the survey of site. Just a minute. Surveys of sites. This is the RTT of site survey or GBT site survey. In the survey, firstly the RF people or the transmission people go for the surveys. They check the feasibility of the location of the site, where and any site location to the surveyor team. Basically acquisition team which go for that locations and just check this location can they acquire or not. After the acquisition team this points given to the survey team. Survey team then goes to that location and checking the full-fledged area there can be built out a tower or not. Firstly, before building the tower, the RF team and the transmission team checks that what is the height of tower, what type of tower, triangular tower or the four-leg tower is used here. That data will be given to the surveyor. Then when surveyor goes to that location, he will check the location is sufficient for that tower, because the 50-meter tower width is more and the 24-meter tower width is low. So he checks the location of the area. The location is sufficient for the implementation of the equipments at that location or not. In the GBT or RTT, there are two type of surveys. In the RTT, the surveyor checks the structure stability report, provides a structure stability report. In which the structure stability report, he checks either the building is sufficient to bear the load of the site or not, right? In which he checks firstly the columns are from the bottom to top. If the columns in the building are sufficient to bear the load of that site, then he go forward to the construction. And then in the GBT site, he checks the soil bearing capacity. Every place the soil bearing capacity is a different soil bearing. Somewhere is the soil is a muddy type, somewhere is the hard rock type, etc. All the white paper 30-meter scale to draw the rough drawing of the site, and the pencil etc. to drawing layouts. Measuring tape to measure the roof of the roof. In RTT sites or at GBT sites, you can measure the dimensions of the area.
Floor area.
Yeah, floor area. Another is the compass. Compass is used to check the angle, north position of the site location and the angle of the site with respect to north position. Tower details tower details are given by the RF department or the transmission department. The height of tower, weight of tower is given by the design department of the tower. Different towers have the different weights. According to the different weights, the foundation volume is increased or decreased. If the tower foundation tower volume is tower weight is high, the foundation will be automatically increased. Base width. Every tower has a 4 or 3 legs. If the tower height is increased, the base of the tower will also be increased. So it should be with the surveyor, because at the time of the measurement, the surveyor feed these dimensions at the survey paper. Then he actually generates the layout of the drawing. Number of legs. Either the tower is a 3-leg tower or 4-leg tower, right? Shelter details. Every site has shelter. There are the 2 types of sites. One is indoor site and the other is the outdoor site. In the indoor sites, we have a shelter, which all the equipments are in house in that shelter. But in the outdoor sites, there is only the BTS and some power plant, which is not required any shelter. They are outerly used at the on a cage, right? DG bed size. There are different type of DGs, 10 kVA DG, 15 kVA DG. According to the power requirement of the site, there are different type of DGs. So you have the dimensions of the DG to draw the drawing, right? Earth pit size, number of pits, and the center distance. Every site is require the earthing. So generally we require 3 to 4 pits, earthing pits. So that we have the dimensions of the earth pit, where we have to put the earth pits, and what should be the dimension of earth pit. Actually these earth pits are
Will the number what it depends on the height of the tower?
no. Actually earth pit depends upon the equipment used on that tower. One earth pit is used for the tower, another is used for the electronic equipments, one is for DG, and the other is for the shelter, etc. Before going to the survey, we should know the following dimensions, just like the tower base width, excavation width, from where you can get the excavation of width. In the GBT case,
What is excavation?
excavation, when you dig the earth to put the foundation, that is the excavation of earth. From where you get the excavation length and width.
So according to the height of the tower.
No, actually the excavation width is when you have the 4-leg tower. It should be 4 legs,
Yes.
right? According to height, the width of the legs is varies. When you know the width of legs, center to center, this is center to center. Yeah. If you want to, for the survey purpose, if you want to suppose it is 6.4 meter leg to leg distance. For the survey purpose, just multiply this 6.4 into 2 for the excavation. This is something 12.8 meter. So the excavation portion should be right?
Standard is fixed for the center distance.
Yeah. But this is only for at the time of just your survey, but actual excavation will be according to the design of drawing, right?
Then what if tower is not 4 legs?
If the tower is not 4 legs, suppose this is a triangular tower. This is 6.4 meters center to center distance. You have to again dig 12.8 meter excavation
So then the standard rule is L, whatever is the length center to center into 2.
into 2.
If it is a single tower like guide tower, then
Sorry?
if it is a single leg tower,
Right,
like guide
right.
tower,
Right.
but
Suppose this is a guide tower. Right? 6.4. Right? Now, how to prepare the layout of any site? Firstly, go to the site where you have to put the location, right? Write the site name, site ID, tower height, site address on the top of a white paper. Yeah, coordinates also. Right, this just drop it here. This is 0 and the north portion 265. Mark all the equipments DG, shelter and tower with respect to boundary wall. Right? Just I put it a 40-meter tower. This is the example of 40-meter tower. I put it a 40-meter tower location. Just shelter and a DG. Mark all the dimensions. The excavation should be 1.5 meter from here, 1.5 meter from here. Like in DG, the foundation of DG 1.5 meter from the boundary wall, and the distance between the excavated portion and the DG is the 1.5 meter. Right? In this, like this, the shelter 1.5 meter from the excavated portion, and from the boundary wall it is 2.5.
So it's just example of 1.5. It's not a
Sorry.
standard one. No? 1.5 meter.
This is for 40 meter. Yeah, this is the example.
It's not a standard one.
This is not a standard. This is the example. Four. One is for tower, one is for shelter, one is for DG, or one is for tower, one is for electronic equipment, one is for shelter, and one is for DG. These are the variables as per the customer requirements. Every customer has some certain requirements. Suppose Aircel wants a Rambol antenna, 3 leg antenna,
Okay.
3 leg tower, and the Aircel wants a 4 leg tower. So according to the customer, the foundation drawings or the basic layouts should be changed.
Okay.
But the one major thing, mark the nearest electrical point from where we have to pick the electrical portion. Like this is the main road, this is the nearest one, the electric pole. So from where we can collect the electricity for our site. On a sign off and from the customer, because after you go for the survey, you have to give this layout design to the CAD designer. CAD designer will finalize this drawing for the construction work. Before construction, you have to secure that the construction should be according to your layout design. So at the time of the layouting, after the layouting, you have to sign all the drawings with the owner or the customer. If the owner and the customers are agreed, then you will give this layout design to the
CAD designer.
CAD designer for finalizing all the values. Soil test. Soil test basically is the checking of the soil at GBT sites. In this, we have to dig soil with the pipes, then the soil is checked with the laboratory. In the laboratories, there are different types of soils. The SBC are the different values. Basically, SBC is the soil bearing capacity. In the soil bearing capacity, the reports come like this: less than 5, 5, 7.5, 10, 15 and 15. Where the soil bearing capacity is 5 or 5.5, it means the soil is very loose soil, right? And from 7.5 to 10, this is normal soil. And 15 and above 15, it is hard rock. According to the SBC value, the foundation drawings will generate. if the soil bearing capacity is very low, 5 or less than 5, it means the soil is very loose. And at the loose point, what type of foundation we can use? Actually, foundations are 3 or 4 type foundation. One is raft. Another is isolated. Another is pile foundation. Anchor foundation. Broadly, the foundations are categorized in the rough 4 type of
So what is
foundation.
the last one? Anchored.
Anchored foundation. Where the SBC value is very low, there we use the pile foundation. Basically, pile foundation, suppose this is the excavated area. Right?
For loose soil.
For loose soil. This is the excavated area. The soil bearing capacity is very low. It does not handle the heavy foundation. So, in this case, we generally bore 300 mm dia piles. Right? 300 mm dia or whatever the height according to the soil bearing capacity, 6 meter, 8 meter, 10 meter long.
The number of piles, it depends upon the situation.
The number of pile depends upon the soil bearing capacity. If the soil bearing capacity is very low, 0, the number of piles will also increase. And somewhere where the areas are very rush type of areas, then we use the small piles. Actually, this is a 300 mm pile. Suppose this is we are going to the Chandni Chowk area. That is a very congested area. There we use the small piles. Suppose it is 100 mm. But the number of piles will increase. Right? Where the soil bearing capacity is low, loose soil, there we use generally the pile foundation. And at the type of the normal soil, we generally use the raft foundation or isolated type foundations.
Where?
Normal type of soil, right? In hard rock type, we generally use the anchored foundation. In this, suppose this is the hard rock. We just dig here. After that, there is hard rock. In this case, we are unable to dig more. So in this case, we just drill in this hard rock, right? Different. No.
Anchor will provide.
Yeah. After that, the anchoring steel will be provided in this with the some chemical solution. When the chemical solution, this will adjust automatically. After that, we will go for the raft. Right? Load is the tower. So the sample should be checked from the tower location. At least 3 samples should be checked from the tower location. Right from here, this is the excavation marked area. You have to check from here 3 points of the samples. After that, the soil test report should be given to the design department. Design department, according to the soil bearing capacity, will design the foundation trellis. Just there are isolator foundation, raft foundation. Completely do the foundation for this whole steel rods, right? The columns will be picked from here, 4 columns, right? This is called a raft foundation for the whole area. Okay? The columns will be automatically rise from the complete foundation. And in isolated foundation, only you have to dig for the 4 portion. That's why it is This is isolated. All the columns are
All let
separated. Actually,
What is excavated area for this?
excavated area only this one is the excavated area.
Not the full
In this
area.
case, not.
Not to do the full-fledged excavation. In this case, isolated is the better for us because in the isolated foundations there is the low quantity of the steel, low quantity of the concrete required, right? So this is the major required foundations for any customer. But where the soil capacity is loose, then we use for the raft foundation. And if the soil bearing capacity is further decreased, then we go for the pile foundation.
So what about the rooftop tower?
Rooftop towers. In the rooftop tower, there is no need of any type of foundation. Just we put the roof, 4 pillars, right? This is the roof. Suppose 2 pillars. Just I will show here. In this case, you have to firstly chipping. Just chip the roof off, then excavate the steel rods. Then just your steel rods should be tied with these steel rods, right? Then go for the beams. Now in these beams you have to install your towers, right? So in this case there is no need of any type of isolated foundation etc. You just use the beams. कंस्ट्रक्शन के लिए आपको सबसे पहले चाहिए होगा साइट क्लीनिंग. Site should be clean, right? After that the marking should be there. Where is the tower location, where is the DG location, where is the shelter location, or where is the guard room location, and where should be the gate, right? After that the excavation, digging of that portion where you have to put the tower, right? After that leveling of excavated pit. When you excavate the pit, suppose this is the ground level, you had excavated here. After excavation, you have to clear the leveling, right? Leveling or dressing. Yes, let's go. After the laying of PCC. PCC is the basically plain cement concrete, in which you have to use the sand, you have to use the aggregate, you have to use the cement, but there is not any reinforcement. After that, the bar binding. Bar binding is the binding of steel rods, right? After that, the shuttering. You have to manage for the shuttering to pouring the concrete in that bar bindings. Raft concreting.
Bar binding required in raft foundation or isolated only?
Bar binding is required in every type of foundation. Every
That
type
is
of
related to
foundation.
tower.
Sorry?
That is related to tower.
Yeah, that is related to tower. After that, the raft concreting. When you have to put the shuttering, you go for the pouring of the raft. After that, the first lift of column. There are the 4 columns. You will just, this is a side view of raft.
Totally 4 columns.
अभी मैं आपको 2 ही दिखा रहा हूँ उसमें साइड में, ठीक है? These are the steel rods. The column should be filled into 2 parts. One is firstly you will go for shuttering this type. This is first lift. You will pour concrete at this level. After that you will be anchoring the bolts, foundation bolts, which will be anchored to the tower in that portion, and after that in the second lift you will put the concreting. So the chimney or column will be poured in the 2 shifts, first shift or second shift, right? Tie beam. When you go for the columns, first lift complete, suppose this is completed portion. After that, to maintain the distance between column to column, you will be go for the tie beam. The tie beam is the connection between 2 columns. This is the tie beam. After that tie beam, you have to fix the template. Template is basically the exact distance between the tower leg to leg distance. When you will put the foundation bolts here, that should be according to the tower foundation. If the bolts will be somewhere vary, the tower will not exactly fit at that foundation bolt. So firstly we have to put the template on this columns, then tight that bolts, foundation bolts at that template, and then pour. After the pouring of the full-fledged column, we will release the template and then go for the tower installation. The foundation, you have to backfill. Suppose this is the foundation. After that, you have to backfill the soil in that area, right? Example of the how we construct the raft type foundation here. This is the general layout of the boundary walls. Firstly, marking according to CAD design. Firstly, you have given the layout design to the CAD designer. CAD designer will provide you the exact values a design. When you go for the site for the construction, you have to go with the CAD design. You have to mark all the location according to the CAD foundation drawing, right? Marking the distance from the boundary wall, right? Just mark a 1.5 and 1.5 meter here. Draw the line of excavated portion. Suppose it should be 6 into 6. From here 5 meter, 1.5 meter from here. Just draw a 6 meter straight line, right? And how you will draw a exact rectangular type box? When you have a suppose 6 meter into 6 meter rectangular box, how you will draw 6 meter 6 into proper shape? If I have, it can go in this way, it can go in this way. What will be the thumb rule of how to draw the exact 90-degree rectangular square?
So I will check the distance from that boundary line.
So compass.
Right?
You will
From the
check
top
if suppose if the boundary wall also in this shape, it should not be straight. How you will draw the exactly square?
So by laser matching, by standing on one point,
You can check with the laser, but exactly we don't have so much tools at the telecom sites. So the rough method is to check the diagonals of this. If this is 6 into 6, this should be
same.
no. This should be 8.485 meter. So just check the diagonals of the 8.485 meter from here, 8.48 from here. The center should be same. The half of 8.485 meter should be there. When you match the center, it should be automatically in the line. This is example. This is the soil. This is excavated portion. In loose type of soil, to avoid the shoring, collapse of the earth, you have to maintain, you have to just give the supports to the walls of the soil, excavated portion. Just like here, this is the loose soil. When I excavated, the soil automatically collapsed from here. So to avoid this, we have to properly give supports at the edges of the,
By RCC mounted.
right? And the somewhere where the water table is very high, when you excavate the earth, there is at the 3 meter level, the groundwater comes. To avoid this groundwater, we have to regularly pump that water from the site location, right? Leveling, just explained earlier. The level of earth is up and down, right? After excavation, you have to go for the leveling.
Like it should be manually.
It should be manual. After the leveling, you have to go for the PCC, plain cement concrete, right? Like here, this is the for PCC composition. The PCC is called M10, and the composition is 1:3:6, 1:4:8, 1:5:10. In which the first one digit denotes the cement, and the second one denotes the aggregate, and the third one is the sand. Generally, the M10 ratio is 1:3:6. In which I use the 1 bag of the cement, then I have to use 3 bags of aggregate and 6 bags of sand, right? The thickness of PCC will be according to the design provided by the designer, right? There is not so much. It is approximately 200 mm, 100 mm thickness of PCC. This is just to cover the ground phase for the foundation, right? Check the center to center and diagonal to diagonal for these columns according to your tower design.
Can't get it.
This is the PCC area at the excavated portion. You have to mark all the columns. If you have a 4-leg tower, you have to mark for 4 columns. If you have 3-leg tower, you have to mark for 3 legs, right? And check all the center to center. This is the center to center distance and center to center diagonal distance, right? For the bar winding, firstly, when you go for the markings, then go for the bar winding. In the first phase, you have to settle the steel rods in this way and this way, means 90° approximately, right? The rods are generally these types, steel rods, right? Steel rods. But you have to place the properly cover blocks. Anybody else? Why we use the cover blocks?
So that our concrete should properly fix
Right,
those roads.
exactly.
Yeah.
The cover blocks are used for when I pour the RCC material in that draft reinforcement, the material should go inside the steel rods. So that's why we are using the cover blocks to just lift the steel rods to upward. After the first phase, you have to go for the columns. Just exactly at the mark place, you have to stand up the column steel rods. Right? This is the marked area. Yeah, these are the steel rods. These are the L-type rods. Basically, to tie up with these rods, with the iron wire, column steel rods. In this way, these are the standing steel rods, and with these strips, you will be tied these steel rods according to the
To make a
proportion.
square or rectangle from
Right.
bottom to top.
whatever the type of the column. At the bottom and the top, both ends. Chair is just like this. Right? Chair we used to, this is the bottom part. When you have to go for the another part, to tie here, to tie here, to avoid the sag. Suppose this is the, if I place the proper chair here, it will not downward go. There is no. If I don't use any chair, the steel of here can go like this. There should be sag. To avoid the sag in the any raft foundation, we use the chairs. Like in this picture, we use here chairs to avoid any sag. This is chair, this is chair. Just it will be more clear in the next slide. Yeah. These are your bottom part, right? And this is the upper part. If you place here the any chair, that will be straight according to the ground one. If you don't place any chair, there will be the steel rods will be just set downward.
So you have to place uniformly
Yeah.
throughout the structure.
Throughout the structure. When you completely bind up the all the structure, then you have to go for the concreting. Before concreting, you have to maintain a proper shuttering outside of the raft. This is called raft shuttering. In the isolated type, you have to call it the isolated shuttering. And when you go for the beam, column, that is the column shuttering. When you go for the beam, that is the beam shuttering. Numbers are equal. All the thickness of the steel rods are as per the specification given in the drawing. And the shuttering, the depth of the shuttering is according to the foundation. If the foundation is the 400 mm, the shuttering should be 400 mm or the greater than 400 mm. It should not be less than 400 mm. And there should not be any gap. And the diagonal to diagonal jacking of the columns before pouring the concrete, and the diagonal to diagonal jacking of the shuttering. These are the some of the steps which you have to check before any casting. Distance of column, right? Check the raft width. It should be, if the raft width is the 6 meter into 6 meter, that should be 6 meter into 6 meter. It should not be less than 6 meter, or it should not be greater than. Aggregate, and the 3 is your sand. So when you go for the concrete mixing, you have to go for only mechanical mixing in the mixer or the Ajax self loader, etc. Don't go for the hand mixing, because the hand mixing
Quantities.
exactly there is no preparation of the material, proper mixing. So that's why only go for the machinery, mechanical or self loader mixing. PCC is always M10 and RCC is always M20 or greater than M20. In the piles, the pile foundation, the pile will be M25. After raft concreting, that will be according to this, right? But there should be in the column, there should be some, that should not be as much plain, because we have to go for the further lifting of that column. If the portion of that place is clear, there is no proper bonding of the bit between the raft and the column. So there should be some concretes like this to tie the for a bonding of column and the raft. Just like it, this is a picture. So there should be some metal pieces should be at the outer portion of that. Other is plain. After the concreting, you can dismantle the shuttering after 24 hours, right? And any concreting, you have to cure that foundation for slowly settle down of that noise. If I don't cure, then there will be some cracks in that foundation. To avoid that cracks, we will go for the curing. So the curing of that foundation, M20 foundation, should be at least for 7 days. There is a different type of curing. There is one is with the gunny bag. You have seen at the metro construction, the pillars will be covered with the gunny bags. Basically, gunny bags are used because the water evaporation is very slow in that gunny bags. So gunny bags are generally used, and then water is thrown on there
To make it wet for more time.
More time, right. And the other way, the direct pouring. The third way is you just put down the backfill the soil, just put down the water on that soil. That will be slowly give the evaporation to that foundation. After the completion of raft, this portion is complete called raft, right? Clear? In the isolated type, this should be like here, small portions. So after the removing the shuttering of the raft, then go for the first lift of columns. Shuttering 400 something else, whichever given by the customer, or the center to center of the columns and the diagonal to diagonal of columns. There should also be some rough space on the outer part to join the next
level.
You are shuttering after the 12 hours of the any column first lift. In the raft, what is the time to remove that is 24 hours, because the volume of raft is very big. If you dismantle the shuttering before 24 hours, it will be automatically by force can
Thrown down.
This is the shuttering for the second lift, okay, and this is the shuttering for tie beam to join the columns to columns. This is the structure of tie beam. This is just a beam, and these are the angles which are joining the column steels. Are you bored?
No, sir.
Okay. Now these tie beams are settled down and anchored with the columns. Before pouring the tie beams and the second lift, all corners should be straight. The column to column should be straight in the all respects. After the tie beam installment, then you have to go for a template. This is the template. Basically, there are the holes which are exactly according to the base of the tower. Then you have to put the foundation bolts in that place, but that should be according to your tower base. So when you put here the foundation bolt, that should be according to the template. This is a template. Before putting up the template, you have to check all the diagonal to diagonal and center to center. That should be according to the tower. So just assemble this template at the ground level. After assembling or checking all the dimension, you have to put it on the columns of the tower foundation.
Then after that we have to remove this
Sorry?
template.
Template. After the casting, you will remove the template.
So bolts in the column are placed in a straight format or in tilted?
In straight form, just here, like here. These are the bolts, right?
Okay.
This is the template portion.
Okay.
And when the bolts are fixed in the template, those bolts are directly equal to the tower base foundation, right? When you put it here the bolts in the template, then pour the concreting material in that, the bolts will be settled down. After that, you will be remove the template. These are the bolts. These are the generally L-type anchored bolts. Anchored bolts are just go down in that bar bending schedules, right?
So what is the size of the bolts?
Length.
The size and the length is varies with the height and the tower of weight of the tower. Level will be just tilted. The tower will be tilted. That will not be installed. So you have to check all the corners of template and then column to column level. How you will check the level? You can see masons at your homes. They are checking when they are flooring.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is the water tube. Yeah. This is the water tube. So in this, all the corners should be equal with the water tube. Firstly, I will check here to here, then here to here, then here to here. After that, I will check from here, right? level, but
Oh,
the,
split
sp-
level.
the spirit level is used for a single location. You can check only the level of this template, this portion. But when you have to
Column to
check
column.
check that portion,
other reference.
because the length of that the spirit level is only 2 feet. 2 feet. You can't check from here. So in this case, you have to use the water tube. The water tube checks the level from here to here. In this way, now all the levels of 4 levels of this portion, then go for this, then go for this. When all the levels are same, then go for the casting. The tie beam is tie beam is casted, but the second lift of foundation is not casted. When all the levels are okay and the center to center distance of all the columns are okay, then you go for the casting. You have to check all the levels of the bolt should be equal. That should be equal. No bolt is upward or not downward. All the bolts should be equal. For the check, all the dimensions are per drawing or not. That is tie beam size, column size, and the tie beam distance from the top of the column, etc. Check the tie beam reinforcement size and number of bars at the top and the bottom of the bottom as per drawing. Tie beam के अंदर भी आपको सारे को check करने हैं, right? कि steel bars okay हैं, number of steel bars, the size of steel bar is as per the drawing or not. Before casting, you have to cover all the threaded portion of the foundation bolts, because if the concrete material go onward, the threaded portion, it will be great problem to loosen up or the tighten up. So you have to firstly use the grease on that portion or any polythene paper to cover that foundation bolts. Will be can remove after 24 hours, but the tie beam shuttering will be removed after 5 to 7 days. Okay,
7 days.
5 to 7 days, because it is
Without
only spot is the column spot. So you will be removed it after the 5 to 7 days. This is the just example of foundation, how it will be look like. After that, we have to fill the soil.
backfill.
Yeah, backfill. Should be done with the proper compaction. Just you have to put the soil at that level, just compact here, then put more soil, then compact here, just more and compact here, and at the outer portion you have to put some more soil at that levels, because after a time it will be compact, slowly settle down. The excavation in hard rock. If we found hard rock for a small depth, जैसे मैंने अपना digging किया तो small depth के ऊपर होगा, it will be removed by the blasting or any excavation. If the hard rock is at level, downward level, we will go for the anchor foundation. In anchor foundation, this is the spot, this is the rock. Then you will go for the drilling. Firstly level the rock surface, then go for the drilling, right? Then go for the anchorage. These are the steel rods. With the chemical grouting, you will be put down these rods in the hard rock.
What kind of chemical that is? For what purpose we are using chemical?
These are the different type of Hilti is the product which is provide the chemicals for the grouting purpose. I don't remember
So for what purpose?
exactly
What is
composition.
the purpose of that chemical?
To fix that anchored in the hard rock.
Hard rock.
Don't to slip anybody. It will be fixed properly in the hard rock. The pile foundation, you have to bore for the several piles, but different depth, right? Then the reinforcement of pile. This is the pile area. Then go for the steel rods and then pouring of the concrete. Right, these are the steel rods. Then pouring of the concrete. It is approximately M25. 1:1:2. For pile cap. of columns, right? Then go for the columns, foundation boards, and the foundation. This is the civil portion. Just like the same portion is the RTT sides, but RTT sides we have only the beams. We will do that foundation with the beam. And the PPC is Portland ozone cement. In the OPC 43 grade, we just need the small curing time. The settle down time is the greater in the 43 grade. So that's why in the all the civil works, in the construction work, generally use the OPC 43 grade. That is only take for that portion and go for the upper only for one column. And that way the 4 portions are excavated and the 4 columns are raised.
We have to first draw PCC.
Yeah, another process is the same. Firstly go for the PCC, then go for the bar bending. That is from start to end. That is the process is the same.
So suppose work or electrical work is being given by Vodafone itself or from us,
Actually-
from our study.
They have managed the different categories. If the SBC value is 5, suppose if the value of the SBC is 5, you have to use for the A number of trying. If the SBC value of the SBC is 15, you have to go for the G drive.
So it's
So-
all depend upon SBC.
Yeah, it depends on the SBC. So all the drawings and the specifications are given by the customer. All the layout drawings are just like the if ASL is using the tower here, DG here, and the shelter here. Maybe Vodafone uses the tower here, DG here, and the shelter here.
And so
And the
site selection is done by the company or
Sorry?
site selection? Site selection.
site selection. Site selection is given by the RF department of the customer. Or maybe sometimes they are giving us the opportunity to do that survey process in the active portion. In that cases, we will find out the locations, go for the RF planning and the transmission planning, then go for the site selections.
Economy or something else?
Load.
Economy or load.
Economy or load?
Basically, the 3 lakh towers are economical, but where we go for the sharing sites, then we will go for the 4 lakh towers. Because the loading capacity of the 4 lakh tower is the greater than the 3 lakh tower. And the somewhere the wind zone, suppose like in the Odisha and the coastal region, the wind zone is the higher, that is the wind zone 5. And in Delhi, there are the low wind zone. So according to the wind zone, we are using the towers, angular tower or the high grade tower or the 3 lakh tower, 4 lakh tower, according to the geography of the area. There is a link between the tower to tower. If the height of the tower is appropriate to link that tower to tower location, then the height of tower can be reduced. So tower of height is according to the transmission survey, or somewhere it is according to the GSM surveys. Because somewhere in the villages we just saw the 30 meter tower, 40 meter tower, single tower, but in the metro cities we are just seeing the rooftop towers, only the 12-13 meter towers, right? Because whenever the coverage area, we have to cover the more area, we have to go upward, long towers.
Decrease or distortion?
No.
So, but if we are using in the same place, we are using 3-4 towers, number of towers we are using in the same locality, then there will be any congestion?
3-4 number towers of the same customer?
No, different, Airtel, Vodafone.
No, they are using a different frequencies.
They are categorized on the frequency.
Yeah, suppose the 9.91.2.
So this one the standard one? This one is standard?
No, these are the given by the
Example.
Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. The frequencies are allotted to the spectrum allocation.
So this
That is
So
the
they are given,
frequency
they have to use that 892.5 only.
allocation.
Particular frequency, they have to use that frequency only.
Yeah. Like in the radio FM station, there are the different frequencies. The band is from 88 megahertz to the 108 megahertz. Radio City is using at 91 and 92.7 is used by the big FM. So the different frequencies, different stations. Right?